Hey guys, welcome back, and boy has it been a while. Today we're finally doing another product review, and this is of the Neewer ND filters. You can get 4 of them for an extraordinarily low price, so how good can they actually be? Well, let's just see. Today I have them in the 67mm variant, which is quite wide, and it's going to be going on a super wide angle lens, a 12mm lens on an APS-C camera, so it'll definitely be a challenge for these filters. Whether the less wide filters, like maybe they're 49, is better, I cannot say. However, I'd assume the quality is going to be pretty similar. So let's just get straight into it. First, opening it up, you can see we have a really nice package here of 4 filters, nicely protected, and they all have their own little plastic wrap. So let me take one of them out and let's take a look. So first, taking the plastic off of one of these things, we can see that it is nice and clean, which is always a good sign. Nothing really on the glass, no scratches, no fingerprints, no dust, which is always a good sign. You have a nice aluminum construction on the outside metal ring, which is black anodized, with some nice markings here. We can see that this is 67mm, and this particular one is ND8. The package I bought comes with ND2, 4, 8, and 16. And you can see immediately that it is quite obviously making things quite a bit darker. However, how much darker? Well, we'll have to test that out. So let's put it on a lens. Here we've got the Roncanon / Samyang 12mm f2, which is quite a challenging wide-angle lens. However, let's see if this thing can handle it. So, just putting it on should be pretty simple. I assume we just screw it on using the threads. If I can get them properly aligned here. You do want to be careful when aligning it because you don't want to strip out your threads. It's giving me a bit of trouble. Maybe I'm just dumb. There we go. Yeah, I'm just dumb. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's no big deal to put on at all. Don't over tighten it, but you can see it fits very nicely. Beautiful. So I think it's time to take these things for a test drive. We're going to test out not only how much they reduce our sharpness, being very cheap filters, I'd assume quite a bit, but also if they are what they're advertised to be, ND 2, 4, 8, and 16. So let's get straight to it. Alrighty guys, now that we're on the computer, let's take a look at our performance of our Neewer filters through our photo samples. Taking a look at our reference photo here, nothing too special. ISO 100 and the f-stop is going to be maintained throughout. I don't know what the f-stop it was taken at because it was a non-electronic manual lens. They were all manually focused and the focus was kept the same throughout, so let's get straight to it. First we'll take a look at how much it actually darkens it. For that you'll look at our shutter speed. It should be having the shutter speed each time because we are in aperture priority mode, meaning the camera will automatically adjust the shutter speed to maintain the same exposure. Here it is without any filter at all. And here it is the ND2. First of all, we see a slight tint change. And it's really no big deal because 1, you can edit it out, but 2, it is far less severe than I've seen. I've seen much worse. And it does indeed have our shutter speed. Next, ND4, it does not have a shutter speed. By the way, I got my head in the way in the shadow, whoops. And I know why. I'm not going to blame this on the filters, I'm not going to hold it against it, and I can tell you why. First of all, because I'm confident that here, sun was behind the clouds, here the sun came out. That's what happened, I know that happened for a fact. And secondly, how I can confirm that is that if we move to our next one, it in fact has the shutter speed, and it would be very odd for a manufacturing error to have the rest of them based off the faulty ND4, if you know what I mean, because the ND4 is not proper relative to our ND2. So I'm pretty confident it's because of the sun, not because of the filters. I believe they were manufactured correctly. Anyways, moving on, as I said, our ND8 here is pretty much exactly half of our ND4. And then our ND16 is half and then a bit more. You can see, actually a third. And that's once again also due to sunlight changes. So I'm sorry I couldn't find a day to do this where there was not so much variation in lighting, but I can attest to the fact that there was in fact this variation in our environment, so these filters performed well and there was no error in their manufacturing. More importantly, let's take a look at our sharpness, because what these very cheap filters are known for is completely wrecking photo sharpness, and that's why people usually stay away from them, or professionals do at least. So let's take a look at that. Okay, well that's great. That's really not helpful. Where did we focus? See, that looks like motion blur to me. And at 13200s on a tripod, I don't understand how we can possibly have motion blur. Oh no, it is just out of focus. That's a pain in the ass. Alright, well, even though my camera said it was unfocused, apparently it was not. These look slightly sharper. Okay, we'll use this as our reference point here. Alright, sorry about that guys, but we'll have to use this as our reference point. It's the best we've got. So you can see, yeah, even through these slightly out of focus shots, you can definitely tell the reduction in sharpness. If you look here where my cursor is, right there in the center of our frame right now, in that kind of white indent, that part is pretty in focus on this. I believe what happened was our camera, I manually focused through the focus peaking into the, since the f-stop was very shallow, it focused into the crevices, if that makes any sense, which are slightly farther back than the actual bricks. So yeah, you can definitely tell the reduction in sharpness. It's not too major, but it is there. Keep in mind we are zoomed in a lot. Oh wow, yeah, that's bad. So with these, each one seems to progressively reduce the sharpness a little bit more, which is interesting. So that you can definitely tell a further reduction in sharpness. And then our ND8 here is the really bad. This one is very bad actually. That's a very significant reduction in sharpness. And our ND16, I want to say it's about the same as the ND8, a significant reduction in sharpness. So that's not the best performance in the world. I actually expected it to do better. However, I can't really hold that against it. You're getting 4 decent quality filters for like, what was this? 12 bucks? No more than 20 bucks? So that's pretty amazing. We can even zoom in farther, but we're not going to. So there you go. Overall, I'd say I'd recommend these filters. Despite the reduction in sharpness, unless you're professional, realistically you're not going to see it in your day-to-day photos. Unless maybe you use the ND8, ND16, those are getting on the higher end. But especially our ND2 and ND4, I think they're perfectly usable. And especially for such a low price, honestly, even if you were just getting those 2 filters, it would still almost be worth it just because how cheap they are. And the build quality is not bad at all. You have nice glass and, well, decent glass, and you have nice metal construction. So overall, I'd have to say I do recommend these. Unless you're professional, of course, because the sharpness reduction is definitely a hit. So do check out my Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. If you are interested in purchasing these, it'll help me out a little bit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.